What's up, everybody? This is Tech G back with another video to help you successfully pass the CompTIA A+ 1201 certification. So let's get into it. As an IT technician or support specialist, you'll often encounter video, projector, and display issues that can disrupt both business and personal operations. And being able to troubleshoot these common problems quickly is essential, and it not only saves time, but it also boosts your credibility. So if you're studying for the CompTIA A+ 1201 exam, understanding how to troubleshoot display-related problems is a crucial skill. So in this video, we're going to walk you through the most common symptoms you might encounter with video, projector, and display issues, and provide a step-by-step guide to help you diagnose and resolve them. So let's go. All right, so let's talk about display issues. Now, a display issue, this can manifest in many ways, from a fuzzy image on a monitor to a projector that suddenly shuts down. So whether you're dealing with a desktop display, a laptop screen, or a projector, the troubleshooting process is similar, but the causes may vary. And the symptoms we'll cover are commonly faced by tech support professionals, and you'll need to have the right tools and methods to fix them. So let's break down some of the most common display symptoms and explore how to troubleshoot them. And the first one is the incorrect input source. So one of the simplest and most common issues you might run into is an incorrect input source. And the symptoms are as follows. The display might show a blank screen or an error message like no signal. The monitor may be active, but it's not showing the content you expect. Or you may notice the input switcher on a projector or monitor has been set incorrectly. So here's how you troubleshoot it. First, you want to check the source input. So make sure the device is set to the correct input source, because many displays have multiple input sources like HDMI, VGA, and DisplayPort. And you want to use the input or source button on the remote or on the on-screen menu to cycle through the options. Then you want to check your cable connections. So ensure that the cable connecting the display to the source device, like your laptop, your PC, or your media player, is securely plugged in. Now, if you're using HDMI, you want to check that both ends of the cable are securely inserted. And then you want to switch the device's output. So if you're working with a laptop, you want to ensure the output is directed to the right display. So for example, pressing the Windows key plus P on Windows, this can toggle between display modes like extend, duplicate, and second screen only. And then you want to test with another device. So if possible, test the display with another device, because this can help determine whether the issue is with the display or the source device. All right, the next issue is physical cabling issues. So loose or faulty cables, these are a common culprit when troubleshooting video or projector issues, and even a slight disconnection, this can result in a blank screen or poor image quality. And some of the symptoms are you got flickering or static on the screen, you have no video output, you have a distorted or wavy image, or you have a black screen. Now, how you troubleshoot this, you want to check for loose or damaged cables. So inspect the cables for any visible damage. If you notice any fraying, kinks, or cuts, replace the cable. Also check that all cables are securely plugged in, because sometimes cables can work their way loose after being jolted or moved around. Also, you want to use different cables. So swap out cables if you have spare ones available. A faulty cable, this can sometimes be the root cause of many display issues, especially with high resolution signals like HDMI or DisplayPort. And also you want to try different ports. So plug the cable into a different port on both the display and the source device, because sometimes the port itself might be damaged, and switching to a different one, this could solve the issue. And next we have burnt out bulbs on a projector. So if you're dealing with projectors, a burnt out bulb, this is a frequent problem that can cause the display to either dim or stop working entirely. And the symptoms are the image from the projector becomes very dim, the projector turns on but produces no visible image, or a warning light or error message is displayed indicating a bulb issue. So here's how you troubleshoot that. Well, you want to check the bulb indicator. So most projectors, they will have a built-in indicator light to show the status of the bulb. And if the indicator is flashing or showing a warning, this could mean the bulb is near the end of its life. Then you want to test with a new bulb. So if the bulb is indeed burnt out, then you want to replace it with a new one. Now be sure to use the correct type and wattage for that projector model. And then you want to consult the projector manual. So some projectors, they have a feature that allows you to check the number of hours the bulb has been used, and this can help you determine if it's time for a replacement. All right, so another issue is fuzzy images. So a fuzzy image, this is another common display problem that can be caused by several factors. So some of the symptoms are the text appears blurry, the images and videos look out of focus, or the screen appears pixelated or unclear. So here's how you troubleshoot that. Well, first you want to check your resolution settings. So you want to ensure that the display is set to its native resolution. If the resolution is too low or not supported, then the image can become distorted or fuzzy, and you want to right click on the desk desktop and then select display settings on Windows or the equivalent on other operating systems to adjust the resolution. Then you want to examine the cable quality. So a low quality cable or one that's too long, this can cause a fuzzy image. So consider using a high quality HDMI or DisplayPort cable that's appropriate for your display's resolution. And then you want to test on another monitor. So if the image is fuzzy, then try connecting your device to a different monitor or projector, because this will help you determine if the problem lies with the display itself or the source device. Another issue is display burn-ins, and that is what you're looking at on your screen right here. So burn-ins, this can occur when the image is displayed on the screen for an extended period and leaves a permanent ghost image. And the symptoms are there's permanent images or shadows that appear on the screen, and the image seems to be stuck or ghosted. So here's how you troubleshoot that. Well, you want to use screen burn-in protection. So many modern screens, especially OLED and plasma displays, they come with built-in screensavers or pixel shifting features to prevent burn-ins. So make sure these features are activated. Also, you want to display moving content. So if you notice burn-in on a display, you want to try displaying moving content such as a screensaver or video to prevent the image from being stuck. You also want to adjust the screen brightness. So reducing the brightness or contrast of the display, this can help alleviate burn-in by reducing the intensity of static images. Then you also want to use burn-in removal tools. So some TVs and monitors, they come with built-in features that are designed to remove burn-in by cycling pixels or running specific test patterns. And you can also find third-party tools online for this purpose. Another issue is that of dead pixels. So dead pixels, this refers to individual pixels on a display that fail to light up or display the wrong color. And the symptoms are there are bright or black spots on the screen that do not change, or it's a noticeable grid of dead or stuck pixels in one area of the display. And how you go about troubleshooting this is you want to inspect the display. So inspect the screen closely to confirm the number of dead pixels, because sometimes they might look like dust or dirt. So make sure you rule that out first. You want to use some type of pixel repair software. Now, there are software tools available that can help unstick stuck pixels by rapidly cycling colors on the screen. And then if it's bad enough, you may have to contact the manufacturer. So if you're dealing with a new monitor or a display and it has dead pixels, check your warranty policy, because most manufacturers, they will replace the screen if a certain number of dead pixels are present. You also have the issue of a flashing screen. So a flashing or flickering screen, this is a common issue that can be caused by problems with the cable, display, or the graphics card. And the symptoms are the display flashes, flickers, or dims intermittently, or the screen may go black and then turn back on at intervals. How you troubleshoot this is you want to check your cable connections. So inspect the cables for any loose connections or fraying, because a poor connection, this can cause the display to flicker. You want to test with another monitor. So if possible, test the device on another monitor, and if the problem persists on another monitor, then the issue is likely with the graphics card or the device. You also want to update your drivers. So make sure that your video drivers are up to date, because outdated drivers can sometimes cause display issues like flickering. And you also want to adjust the refresh rate. So the refresh rate of the monitor may be incompatible with the source device. And if that's the case, you want to try lowering the refresh rate in the display settings to see if it resolves the issue. All right, so another issue may be incorrect color display. So an incorrect color display, this can make everything look off, from web pages to movies and images. And the symptoms are the screen looks washed out, or it has an unnatural color tint, or the colors appear overly saturated or too dull. How you troubleshoot this is you want to adjust your color settings. So you want to access the monitor's on-screen display menu, or the OSD, and adjust the color settings, because most displays have settings for brightness, contrast, and color saturation. You want to check the graphics card settings. So if you're using a PC, check the graphic card settings in the control panel, because you can adjust color calibration there as well. And then you want to test with another display. So connect the device to another monitor or projector to see if the problem is with the original display. There's also the issue of a dim image. So a dim display is often a sign that the brightness is set too low, but it could also indicate hardware failure. And the symptoms are the screen is too dark even at full brightness, or the display is barely visible in normal lighting. How you troubleshoot this is you want to check your brightness settings. So make sure the brightness settings are correctly adjusted, and you can find this option in the display's OSD menu or via the operating system settings. You want to check the backlight. So in many cases, especially with LCD screens, a dim image may be caused by a failing backlight. Now, if the backlight is malfunctioning, then the display may need to be repaired or replaced completely. And also, you want to test on a different device. So if possible, test the display with a different device, and if the problem persists, then the display hardware may be at fault. Then there's the issue of intermittent projector shutdown. So projectors, they can randomly shut down due to overheating, a faulty power supply, or incorrect settings. And the symptoms are the projector turns off unexpectedly after being on for a while, or the projector won't turn back on immediately. How you troubleshoot this is you want to check the lamp and cooling system. So you want to ensure that the projector's cooling system is working properly. And if the fan is clogged with dust or the air vents are blocked, then the projector may overheat and shut down. You also want to check for overheating. So make sure the projector is placed in a well-ventilated area. And if it's in a confined space, it might overheat and shut down as a safety measure. And you also want to replace the lamp. So if the projector turns on and off intermittently, then the lamp may be nearing the end of its life. So you want to check the lamp hours and replace it if necessary. Another issue is that of sizing issues. So sometimes the image doesn't fill the screen properly or it looks stretched out. And the symptoms are the image is too small or too large, or it's cropped or stretched out of proportion. And here's how to troubleshoot that. So you want to adjust the aspect ratio. So check the aspect ratio settings on the display or projector, and the aspect ratio should match the content that you're viewing. You also want to check your display resolution. So ensure that the resolution is set to match the display's native resolution, because a mismatch can lead to image distortion or incorrect sizing. And then you have a distorted image. So a distorted image, this can be caused by problems with the cables, graphic card, or the display settings. And the symptoms are the image appears stretched, warped, or has weird shapes, or the screen shows pixelated or garbled images. So here's how you troubleshoot that. You want to check the cable connection. So ensure the cable is securely connected and not damaged. Check your resolution settings. So verify that the resolution and refresh rate settings are correct for both the display and the source device. And then once again, test on another device. So if possible, test the device on another monitor or projector to isolate the problem. All right, so let's wrap all this up. So when it comes to troubleshooting video, projector, and display issues, it's essential to understand the symptoms and apply logical steps to resolve them. And by following the troubleshooting process outlined in this video, you're going to be equipped to handle many common issues that users encounter. And this is not only helpful for your day-to-day work, but it also will prepare you for the CompTIA A+ 1201 exam. So remember, sometimes it's the simple things that causes the biggest headaches. Always start with the basics like checking cables, input sources, and settings before you dive deeper into hardware-related issues. And with that being said, let's do some check on learning. So what should you check first if a projector displays a no signal image? Should you check the resolution settings on the source device, the projector's lamp life, the input source settings on the projector, or the projector's cooling system? And the correct answer is you're going to check the input source settings on the projector. So when you see a no signal message, the first thing to check is whether the projector is set to the correct input source like HDMI or VGA, because a mismatch in input source, this is a common cause of this issue. If the input source is correct, then you can move on to checking other potential causes such as cables or the source device settings. Next question. If a display is showing dead pixels, what is the best first step to troubleshoot? Is it to increase the screen brightness, use a pixel repair software, replace the display cable, or replace the graphics card? And the correct answer is you're going to use a pixel repair software. So dead or stuck pixels are usually a sign of a malfunctioning display. And one effective first step in troubleshooting is to use pixel repair software, which rapidly cycles colors to try and unstick the dead pixels. If this doesn't work, then you can further inspect the display or consider contacting the manufacturer for warranty support, especially if the screen is brand new. And our final question is, what is the likely cause of a projector intermittently shutting down after a period of use? Is it incorrect resolution settings, the cooling system is clogged or malfunctioning, the HDMI cable is faulty, or the input source is incorrectly selected? And the correct answer is the cooling system is clogged or malfunctioning. So projectors, they often shut down intermittently when they overheat. And this could be due to a clogged fan, dirty air vents, or improper ventilation. So ensure the projector is in a well-ventilated area and check the cooling system. If the projector continues to shut down, then it may need maintenance or a replacement lamp if the issue persists after cooling is restored.